Today we look at a colossal T-Rex, and I really mean this. This thing is gigantic. Now this Tyrannosaurus Rex made by Mattel is to promote the new Jurassic World Rebirth. And look, I can say things about the movie. Don't want to spoil the movie. There is a T-Rex in it. That's as much as you need to know. But after watching that movie, I felt a little inspired, and I wanted to get a dinosaur. Well, I managed to get one. I got one that feels life-size, because this thing is so big. Now, the Jurassic Park line from Mattel, they have a variety of stuff and a variety of sizes. This one they labeled as the big boy, and you can actually stuff his mouth full of tiny micro dinos, but I don't know where you get those. So whatever. And I didn't want those. I wanted a big dinosaur that I could use along with my action figures. And you know what? I think this one's gonna do it. And while we're doing this video, be sure to let me know down in the comments what dinosaur is your favorite. There are a lot, so, feel free to get specific. Based on the average size of a T-Rex, this thing actually works pretty well with 1/12 scale figures. If you get figures that are a little bit smaller, even better. Anything that's labeled as like a 6 or 7 inch figure is maybe a little too big. So to get things started off, we have to look at the box, and then we have to take it out of the box. And taking it out of the box actually was harder than I thought it was gonna be. Maybe I just did it from the wrong side. Doesn't matter. Everything in the box is basically separated. So you have your big T-Rex, and then you have a leg, a tail, and another leg, all separated, and then you gotta work your way out of the box with his little tight T-Rex arms. Anyway, you got an instruction sheet. It basically says he can move in a few places. You can throw little tiny dinosaurs in him, and they come out of his guts. Now he does have neck articulation, the legs articulate, and then actually at the very end of the tail, that can articulate too, but it's in a very strange shape, so you basically just want to leave it as it is. Of course, it rotates at the base of the tail, but you can't really get much out of it. So really, little tiny arms that do a little bit of wiggles, big legs that have ratchets to basically 3 positions each, and then there is a swivel at the ankles, but I don't know why. The most impressive thing is probably the mouth, which articulates to an insane amount. So much so that you could put one of your own hands right down his throat. But why do that? I don't know. Now, to really look at the scale of this guy, we gotta pull out all the tricks. And by that, I mean just what I had laying around. So, first up, we have the non-moo V-Rex. This is from the King Kong movie. This thing is not 1/12 scale. I don't even know, it's like 1/72 scale or something crazy. 1/32 scale? It doesn't matter. It's really small for a T-Rex type thing. Anyway, there you can see the size difference. And then this is the non-moo Velociraptor, which I think is a 1/12 scale dinosaur. And that actually pairs up really well with the T-Rex. And then you got your tiny little baby Mario, which comes with those little yellow cubes that you get for like $6 or whatever. Then you got Daima Vegeta, NECA's cartoon Ninja Turtles, NECA's live action Ninja Turtles, and this is what I mean when you pull something that's a little like larger scale, it doesn't really work based on where they should play out height-wise. And then you got this Husky figure, which actually works pretty well. And then my favorite pairing is Bert and Ernie. Up next is maybe one of my favorite figures of this year so far. This is the Lotto Toys Leia. Leia, probably. And then the Nausicaa Horseclaw, which is the best thing I've ever owned. And to truly show some scale, this is the NECA Ninja Turtle cartoon van. Check that out. That thing is massive. And then finally, we have Toon Tree Studios, what's her name? From The Thing. Metal Slug's the game. Moving on. This thing, it's gorgeous. Now, a lot of it does come down to like really good lighting. If you have basic, just overhead lighting, this thing looks very basic. Basic overhead lighting makes it look basic, because the paint isn't really there. If you want extreme paint work, then you need to get something like the non-moo Studios, but it's also really, really small. So if you want something that's very large, you'd kind of have to find this balance. But I think you'll see from this video that even just good lighting can make this thing look awesome. Now, details with the painting, they really just went hard on the head. The tongue is cool. It's got like a wet look to it, which is nice. Again, in normal lighting, doesn't look good, but with photography-based lighting, everything just stands out and looks the way it should. Like, you got the matte skin, you have the glossy tongue. The thing is, the details around the head slowly kind of drop down as you get through the body. So he's got his stripes on the top of him, he's got some paint work, but then once you hit the base of the tail, the stripes are gone, and it kind of throws it off. It's a little odd, but only if you look at it. So just do what I do and close your eyes when you get to the tail, and then be like, oh yeah, still looks good. I think photographers are really gonna love this thing because you can use it with a lot of different figures. And again, good lighting will make this thing look awesome. And I think a lot of that is to do with the matte finish, but the sculpt truly is perfection. Now, what I would love to do with this, if I had the money and knew the people, is to hand this over to somebody that is a professional painter and just make this thing look as realistic as they possibly can. I think this is worth that. The biggest problem, now let's get to it. This thing, if you buy it from Target, is $75. And I don't know why. I mean, that's pretty expensive. But if you go to Walmart and you can find it, it's only 50 bucks. So you tell me, what's the better deal? Save $25? I bought it from Target because I can't find it at Walmart. Now, since I don't have any little tiny dinosaurs to throw down his throat and out his little tums, I do have this little tiny Mario.
Here we go! Wahoo!
Maybe not my best impression. But you toss that thing in there, you can hear it clunking around, and then you reach under here at the belly, and then it just pops right out. It's perfect. It's a very simple setup. Perfect, I don't know. I mean, that's like, it just does what it's supposed to do, which is a very basic thing. Anyway, Tiny Mario with this T-Rex actually really kind of makes him look larger than he is, and he is very, very large. But you get a couple figures in there, and you can really bring this thing to life. It's fantastic. Now, one of the other things you'd be missing is probably like really good dio stuff. Like, you want to have some trees and things to scale appropriately with this guy. So good luck with that. Now, there's a few things you can do when you find a T-Rex that you absolutely love. Is you can stand in front of it and show people how big it is to you. But what good does that do? They don't know how tall you are, and you could tell them, but you won't. Instead, you get your house cat. This is Cora. Now, Cora, she is a larger house cat. She's actually 13 pounds, but that's because she's very tall and long. And I would say sometimes she looks fat. Anyway, this is her next to this T-Rex. And as you can see, if you could have a real T-Rex that was like a house cat, it would be awesome. Now, she didn't really care for this thing, but she didn't not care for it. So what am I trying to say? It's just the thing in the room. It didn't scare her, which is a little unfortunate. Like, that's kind of fun, but I don't like to scare my cat, but sometimes I do. She had a good time. I had a good time. I don't know if the T-Rex had a good time. I mean, probably didn't because it's just plastic and it's not real. I mean, duh. But a nice thing as far as parents, hey, the teeth on this thing are very soft. So don't worry about like anybody hurting themselves and like crunching their hands or poking themselves or something. It's very soft. So basically this guy is larger in line than anything else they make. Everything else they make is smaller than this T-Rex because they do it on a different scale. So this guy really is like a standalone thing. I don't know that you can put any of the other Jurassic Park things with this and make it look right. Now, maybe a Stegosaurus from the Hammond collection. Here is one of my favorite bits of information about the T-Rex and dinosaurs in history. They lived for millions and millions of years, but they didn't all live together, despite things like Jurassic Park making us think that a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex were there at the same time. In fact, they weren't there at the same time. There is more time between the Stegosaurus when it lived and when the T-Rex first came to Earth. Came to Earth? No. Than there is between the T-Rex and when humans do exist. I can't, you know what I'm trying to say. But you could basically look at it like this. A T-Rex could be digging up dinosaur bones of a Stegosaurus, like we do with the T-Rex. It's anyway. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope if this is something you're into, that you're able to get one, especially from Walmart, because it's just 50 bucks. And it's definitely worth 50 bucks. Now, at the end of the day, you just really want one of these things, I kind of think it's worth the $75, but when you know it's available for 50, you really feel ripped off. So now I get to find out if Target will price match my $25. I hope so. If you want to see some more dinosaurs get reviewed on this channel, then click that top link there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.